Now, it was a case that captivated the world and, of course, caused a storm of controversy more than a decade ago.
Yes, the Paralympic hero turned killer, Oscar Pistorius, shot his girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp, multiple times through a bathroom door at his home in Pretoria almost 11 years ago. Today, he's been released from prison.
Well, he will be subject to strict supervision restrictions. That's until his sentence ends in 2029.
Well, our reporter Charlie Peters joins us now. Oscar Pistorius released on parole after 8 years in prison. Tell us more.
Well, he will be under those strict restrictions until 2029, which will include no drinking and also needing to seek permission before he travels or works. So it's unlikely that we're going to see him returning to the sport he was in before his arrest and conviction. His release has been met with extreme reactions in South Africa, a country which is in the grip of a sexual violence pandemic. Some 43,000 assaults were reported to the police in the last full calendar year, but the real figure is expected to be much higher. And those restrictions until 2029 will also include limits on who he can speak to, and that'll be speaking to the media. He's expected, we haven't seen him yet, but he's expected to settle in his wealthy uncle's home, also in Pretoria, in the country's administrative capital, where he is reported to have a garden cottage in a secure compound. But no footage has been seen of him yet. He was released in the early hours. He is reported to be unrecognisable from the double amputee athlete that we knew over a decade ago, when he won some 6 gold medals, 1 bronze and 1 silver in 3 Olympic Games. So a completely different man, bloated, grey, reportedly also a smoker. And also within this conversation, there is now the feeling of the victim's family, those of Reeva Steenkamp. June, her mother, said that she did not feel as though he had been rehabilitated by his time in prison, first convicted of culpable homicide, then upgraded to murder after an appeal. And Reeva's father, Barry, actually passed away in 2022. He passed away, the family said, with a broken heart, and engaged in victim and survivor dialogue with Oscar Pistorius when he was behind bars. He reportedly left those sessions early because he felt he wasn't getting the answers he deserved and that the family broadly deserved.
What do we know then about the reaction in South Africa as people were awaiting this release? Is there a general consensus that this is a man who is guilty of murder, or are there still people who believe his story?
It's exactly that, Steve. I mean, global opinion was split during the case, and that has remained the case, 13 years on, from his Olympic heroism, when he's now being released after those horrific crimes. And the opinion split really is about whether or not he's actually finally admitted to what happened on that day, Valentine's Day 2013, when he claims that he heard an intruder behind a bathroom door, but the Steenkamp family and the prosecution and the state say that he knew it was his girlfriend there. A row had erupted in the night and he shot her deliberately. And throughout the trial, which was one of the most captivating and televised trials of the century so far, he was regularly accused of bringing emotion into the court to distract from the proceedings. The prosecutor, Harry Nell, nicknamed a bulldog at the time because of his relentless pursuit of the truth in that court case, accused him of crocodile tears to distract from the situation. They said it didn't work, and obviously it didn't, because he was eventually finally convicted of that murder. There was one day in the court where he actually retched and they had to cancel the proceedings due to the discussion about the injuries suffered by Reeva Steenkamp. But the reaction still is, of course, one of great split, because at the time of the murder, he was possibly South Africa's greatest hero since Nelson Mandela, held on such a pedestal, and now recovering at 37 at home, likely in a wealthy Pretoria estate. Those conversations and that split in opinion will continue.
Okay.
Charlie, thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.